need to get a flame under this coffee or it'll never come up. Here we are early this morning and we're going to make jam cake today. It's an old-fashioned southern recipe. It's quite common. Doug Tarrant over in Chicago, he heard about it. He uses it for jam. It's a great way to use up all that jam that you made last summer. And I have about 3 cases under my bed right now. So it takes 2 cups of jam, so we're going to be using up quite a bit. This is plain plum. But anyway, that's what we're doing. It's the first time for me making this recipe. I've never made this recipe, and I've never had jam cake. I've heard people talk about it, but I've never had jam cake. Marie Antoinette, have you seen the new one with Coppola? Well, it had all those wonderful desserts. Oh my God, they were just fabulous, all of them French. Well, anyway, I watched the old version with Norma Shearer the other night, and from 1938. It was one of her last films before she took early retirement. And Adrian did all the costumes, and oh my God, he just went out of the way. The movie was a total loss in money, but it was very popular with the public because of all the big costumes. But the best scene in it, and it's hard to do, was Norma Shearer, that old gal. She comes running down the staircase, and there must have been about 60 flights, and she's doing it at an angle, and she's got this dress on that's with hoops and everything, and she must weigh at least 65 pounds. And she's got a veil on too at the same time with this giant wig. And she runs down that staircase and doesn't miss it. I wonder how many times she had to do that, and wondered if she thought she was going to break her neck trying to get this scene done. Since we're using a wood stove, I'm going to use one of these pans instead because this will come out easier. And also, it has a little thinner bottom since we're heating mostly from the top. Maude heats from the top to the side. And it causes it to bake differently. Well, I'm cutting up some parchment paper to line the bottom of this old-fashioned angel food pan. I'm going to use Crisco. Usually I use butter. Most big cakes I use butter in the pans because it's better, I think. But since we're dealing with a new cake recipe and I'm doing it on Maude, I found that if you need to grease the pans pretty well. You actually really do. So I'm using Crisco. This is the fun, tricky part because this thing comes apart, so you have to keep your thumb on it. There we go. That's a floured pan. This takes half a teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg. I like everything prepped up. It just makes everything so much easier. And besides, I have plenty of time. It'll take at least an hour for Maude to get heated up. She's just now starting to get warm. I've got my butter, my buttermilk, and my eggs already on top of the stove, trying to get them warmed up. Two cups of flour. Teaspoon of baking soda. I hope this is still fresh enough. Should be. And then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. There we go. We got the right one now. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of cloves. This is a spicy thing. It should go good with. It should go well with the plums, the plum jam. I used plain plum jam. I didn't use my other flavored ones, but I have a feeling we'll get to try them out before it's over with. I have so much. And a half a teaspoon of nutmeg, freshly grated. I'm just going to sift these together so that everything's evenly distributed. When I'm doing a cake, I like to do it at least 3 times. Sometimes, depending if it's when it's a lot of spices like this, I think it's better if you do it 3 or 4 times. Get it all mixed up. Yeah, I'll do it one more time. Okay, that's done. I canned this up back in August of last year. That's good. We need 2 cups of this. Yep, I'm at 2 cups. So we're at 2 cups, so it took 3 half pints. Okay. Good. Okay, I think I got my fire getting close to being set. I'm going to go ahead and set my damper up here. I'm going to cock it a little bit, and I'll start pushing the heat down. My oven's running at 325, and we need a 350 degree oven, so I've got that banked. So we're going to make a cake so we can get it in the oven while it's still hot. All right, Jack, you're going to have to move. This is a high traffic area. Come on, baby. Let's get up. Come on. There you go. Move. All right, let's wash our hands. Oh, he's sniffing the tire. Look at him. Well, from this direction. I've got a cup of sugar in here, and then I'm going to add. I've got this already softened up. This is my butter, a half a cup of butter, and we're going to cream this until it's light and fluffy or something like that. I love my KitchenAid. Oh, this was the best investment I've ever made, other than Maude. Maude was a really good investment, but this was excellent. This thing, it does everything. Okay, now we're going to get in here and cream. All right. Now we're going to add our eggs. We have 3 eggs. You add the eggs one at a time because you want to make sure the batter is mixed up really well. This is what binds your batter. And so anyway, we use our Americana eggs from our own hen house, and these are great. And so I'm going to go ahead and scrape this bowl down and give it one more and mix it up a little bit more, and then we'll start adding our dry ingredients with buttermilk. And that's the 3rd egg. Okay, we're ready to add our sifted flour with all the spices and salts and the baking soda, and we're going to alternate between this butter, half a cup of buttermilk. Smells good, has all the spices in it. Okay, now we're going to mix that up. Now we're going to add the buttermilk. Now we're going to add the remaining flour and mix it until it's just combined. The way this recipe is working, it doesn't look like we want to do a lot of mixing after we get to this point, because we take our jam and we fold it in by hand. All right, there you go. This is just supposed to be combined, so I'm going to try to scrape all this flour and everything down in there so that we don't have a bunch of it hanging around the sides. Okay, that's that. This is all folded in. All right, now we're going to put our jam in. We need to put this in, and we want to evenly distribute it, but we don't want to overmix it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in a lump there, and a lump there, and a lump there. Try to get it moved around. Because we're not going to want to mix this very much. We don't want pockets of jam. All right. Fold this in. All right, I think that's it. Yep, that's it. We're not going to do any more. Now we're going to get our pan, and we're going to pour it in the pan. And let's look at our oven while we're at it. Not the oven too hot. Open that up. Close that damper down. Close off the air intake. This will cut. If I shut this down, all the oxygen gets cut off, and so my fire won't. It'll start to fall down. So I haven't got very much in there, but my oven's really hot. And I've opened the damper up, and that'll help pull up some more heat. Now we're going to go ahead and pour this in there. Smooth this out. I think I got a big wad of jam on one side. We'll see what happens. That looks good. All right, I have a really hot oven. I don't like this, but I've gotten so good at getting a hot oven quick that now I can get a hot oven, but I can't get the damn thing to go down. So anyway, Maude, we'll see what happens here. We're running way too hot. Let's leave this door open. We're going to leave the oven door open for a little while. Well, my mom was raised during the Great Depression, and she was married in 1946. But anyway, they learned how to cook on wood stoves. And when I was growing up as a teenager and up through my in my 20s, and I started kind of cooking on my own, I got to noticing how she cooked, and she cooked everything on high, get everything really hot. And I never could understand it, and I asked her about it, and she wouldn't say much. She just said she wanted to get it done. And so after started cooking on Maude, it just hit me really quick why my mother cooked the way she did. She was used to a wood stove, where that thing got hot, the top gets really hot, and it really cooks fast. It cooks very fast, especially if you're using cast iron. And so that kind of explains Mom's cooking methods, why she would go in there and just turn all those burners on high and then walk off, and half the time things kind of got charred over. She didn't really like to cook. It was part of her world, but she didn't particularly care for it. But she made damn good pies. Her pies were excellent, and her crust was super good. I don't think my crust is nearly as good as my mom's, but the rest of the cooking, she didn't care for it. But she liked to make pies. It's dropped. Let's put her in. All right, we're going to put you in there in the middle. And we're going to shut this up. Turn my damper back a little bit. Like that. And we're going to add a little bit of wood. This has got to go for 40 to 45 minutes. I want to set it for 45. I'm going to try to cook her on the cool side. There we go. So we've got it ready. See that? There you go. KitchenAid. Okay, let's see if we can get her out of the oven. She should be done. Yeah, I think she is. Yep. I think this goes down. Yeah, she's pulling away from the sides. Pull her out. Boy, this is going to be a wet one. Wet cake. Okay. There we go. All right, we got that part done. Now we got to get her off. I've got paper under here. Okay, you gonna move? You need to move. There we go, and it all came apart. And my hot pad's underneath there too at the same time. Now isn't that lovely? And it's falling apart, and there's a hot pad underneath there. Oh well, we'll just kind of push it back together here. Hi! Well, we're going to taste our jam cake, and it smells fabulous. Oh, it smells real spicy and everything. We'll take this and it tastes plum. Very good. It's a keeper. So, jam cake. See you guys later. Bye-bye.